Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. I believe it is episode 192. Thank you so much for rocking with me for 192 weeks. We've made it thus far. All the haters said we wouldn't, but here we are. Listen, my voice, I can't help it. My voice sounds this way due to a helium balloon accident. One of these days, if you catch me in the right mood, I'll explain the whole story, the situation, the surgeries, the doctors, the therapy. I mean, it's been a 13-year plus thing. This is where we're at. It's my voice. Hey, don't worry about it. I'll explain later. I sound like this for a very particular reason, okay? If you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It's what fuels us each week. As long as one more person that didn't hit it last week hits it during this next week, we'll continue to do the podcast. So as long as we continue to gain at least one subscriber in the coming weeks, you know what I mean, we'll be rocking and rolling. So shout out to all of you, all 1,226 of you beautiful souls who have hit that button. And for those of you who haven't, I hope you do extremely soon, like within the next 5 seconds of your life. You need to hit that button, hit the like button, and then of course there's another little bell. Make sure you got on the notification because you want to make sure you know and that you're notified and that your family knows and your kids know and your significant other knows that we've dropped not only a new episode, we've dropped a new clip, we've got it rocking and rolling over at the What Are We Doing podcast studios. No matter what, because, you know, there may or may not be another podcast out there by the same name. Did we have to address it now, today? No, we could have waited, but why not bring it up? Because there's some imposters out there, okay? We've got another group of hooligans who think it's okay to name their podcast after one that's already established.
What are we doing?
But it's fine because, I don't know, I think they talk about sports and randomness and stuff that we don't really even cover here. So if you want to consider that, like consider ours the first What Are We Doing podcast to listen to. And then if you're into sports, because I could give two shits, then go over to the other What Are We Doing podcast. You know, they got jerseys on the wall. And of course, the inevitable freaking Amazon Basics. Here's a 100-pack for $12. Sound panels that don't absorb any sound.
What are we doing?
So get all your sports news from the other What Are We Doing podcast. And if you want all the other news that's happening in the world besides the world of sports and the NBA finals and whatever type of hockey type of situations currently going on in the world of sports, go over there and listen to that What Are We Doing podcast. And then once you realize the superior of the two, come on back here, leave a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe. It's the What Are We Doing podcast. And I mean, to start the episode, it's a straight out PSA, public service announcement. You know, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't know, you would have missed it. It probably would have ruined your life because you had plans to watch before then, but it's okay. I'm here to tell you that the Twilight saga will be leaving Netflix in the United States come June 30th. You know what I mean? And so basically, if you haven't had the opportunity to consume and rewatch and re-fall in love with the Twilight saga, aka Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn, Twilight Saga New Moon, and Twilight Saga, I think Breaking Dawn Again Part 1 and Breaking Dawn Again Part 2. Whatever, however many 4 or 5 films the whole thing actually has. Once you're halfway through the whole series, you kind of just lose track and you're like, okay, who's a vampire? Do the rules sometimes apply? Why wasn't the vampire sparkly on his tropical vacation honeymoon?
What are we doing?
We hit one ray of light back in the rainy town of Fort Knox or wherever they live, and we've got the vampire sparkling like a disco ball. But come the second or third movie, when Homeboy's on his honeymoon with the human girl, Bella, they're on the island of Cabo Wabo, and there's not one sparkle in sight.
What are we doing?
I mean, plot holes. It's fine. It's fine, okay? It's Twilight. We can't hold it to the same standards as we do all of the other, critically acclaimed and award-winning films thereof that on Netflix and just within the world. You know what I mean? So June 30th is your date. If you haven't done so already, get some popcorn, get some snacks. Can you believe it? There are friends of mine who have yet to even seen any of the Twilight movie. I think my friend Paul just consumed the first Twilight film, if not multiple, like last year, like 6 months ago. So he's now fully caught up. I think I have a few other friends who have never actually sat down and watched what we define as the greatest love story of all time, aka Bella and Edward, aka the Twilight Saga. So if you got a Netflix account, you know what I mean, log on. It's time to Netflix and chill, either by yourself or with someone else, and watch every single one of the Twilight movies, because you have to, A, B, they're cinematic masterpieces, and C, do you honestly think you could go through life navigating conversations with friends and coworkers and family members, and then poof, all of a sudden they bring up a Twilight Saga reference and you've never seen the movie, so you're stuck there looking like a fool because you don't know the name Edward Cullen?
What are we doing?
It's because of this podcast. You're now welcome. So I've got you covered. Go watch Twilight, okay? Where's my Twilight? We're talking about Twilight and I don't have on my Twilight mask. It's okay. We'll figure it out later. I'll put in my mask in post or something. But if you haven't, June 30th, you know what I mean? Now, speaking of things that are ending, it's here. It's here. It's finally happened. We knew it was coming from a mile away. We've got the New York Post with the cover of the year out this morning. I hate my ex. It's the big, beautiful breakup between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, okay? The bromance has now exploded into insults, threats, taking finances away. I mean, it has been an insane roller coaster of emotions for not only us watching, but the two zaddies involved, that thereof, Daddy Trumpets, and, Elon Musk gets. And so really, honestly, I mean, it's Mean Girls 3 out here.
What are we doing?
Like, Mean Girls 3 just dropped, and it's an all-out Twitter war between the two, presumably, is it still right now, like most richest men? I think Bezos is in there too, probably Zucks. But between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, I mean, now listen, and when I say we, I mean me, okay? All of your other podcasters, streamers, personalities, people you watch, they're going to say the same thing. They're all going to try to claim that months ago, we told you this was coming. The Hassans of the world, the Philip DeFrancos, everybody that you are watching when you're not watching me is going to try to claim that they were one of the first creators online with a video with them saying Donald Trump and Elon Musk will have a public fallout that's going to be a bloodbath, whether it be on social media, in person, etc., etc. They're going to claim that, okay? What I need you to fully understand is that we were first of the first. The fact that they're all claiming that they were the first to tell you that they predicted this breakup coming from miles and miles away, aka 6 to 12 months ago, then that's because they heard me say it first.
What are we doing?
So I was let's just put it out there. I was the first of the first. If I came in at 6 o'clock, everyone else followed at 6:01, 6:02, and beyond that time. Okay. So when you hear these big YouTubers and big streamers who were like, I told you guys 6 months ago this Elon Musk Trump thing would end really bad. They weren't actually the first. Just know I was there moments before they were shouting from the rooftops, hey, this is a bad idea.
What are we doing?
So, I mean, I told you months ago, I predicted it accurately. And unlike anyone else at the time, I predicted it accurately for the first time as an influencer online podcaster that this was going to end badly for Mr. Musk and Mr. President Donald Trump. And so now that we're here, I mean, it is a fun time. It's a fun time, okay? I just hope both sides are having fun because from the looks of it, I mean, they definitely are, okay? And like, hey, at the end of the day, this notion, like, hey, what do you mean? Hey, what do you mean? Two narcissistic megalomaniac billionaires with the total inability to see value in any other human being on this planet are having a hard time being best friends. You know what I mean? Like behind closed doors, they're like, I'm more powerful than you. No, you're not. Ow!
What are we doing?
It's just this, when we thought, they're both billionaires, they're both at the top of their game, how could anything go wrong? You know what I mean? To the point where Elon Musk now has a mysterious black eye. And rumors in the Twitter sphere are swirling that Donald Trump gave it to him. There's bets being taken, I believe. And so it's just this big, messy breakup. It's a big mess of a breakup that we all knew. Everyone knew this was the only people who didn't know this was going to happen were Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and little X Jr. You know what I mean? So here's a timeline of what actually happened. Okay. On May 28th, so a few weeks ago, May 28th, Elon Musk's time as a government employee concludes, okay? It was only supposed to be a 100-day contract anyways, right? And so as that's coming to an end, everything seems on the up and up, okay? He leaves the White House. Donald Trump gives him a key. He gave him a golden key. He's like, here we go. We're giving Elon Musk a key. I've given everybody keys like this before, but it's a very rare, very special key. It's a golden key. He can use it to get into the White House anytime he wants. Here you go, Elon Musk. Here's a key. And he's just high on ketamine, just looping through the words that he has to say to the president. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And he's just in space accepting this golden key from Donald Trump. And it was after that everything went downhill. Because I would imagine in his mind, after writing a $500 million check to Donald Trump in the campaign, essentially helping him win not only Pennsylvania, but maybe the entire election. That's your opinion, not mine. And also to the entire, hey, remember the Tesla commercial on the front lawn? I love Tesla, okay? Donald Trump never gave Elon anything other than the golden key. And once he realized that, Elon started to get a little pissy, okay? So then fast forward a few days later, 6 days later, we get the first diabolical tweet from Elon Musk stating, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore.
What are we doing?
5 days of brewing on his own out of the White House, and Elon Musk can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Now, what he's referring to is Donald Trump's recently passed big, beautiful, bold spending bill. The big, beautiful, bold bill, whatever Donald Trump triple quad B is calling it, it's the big, bold, beautiful bill. And according to Donald Trump, these statements come as a shocker to him and his team because it was Elon who was a part of creating said bill, and he knew exactly what was in it, and so he couldn't really understand why Elon was trying to not only sabotage it, but talk down and against this big, bold, beautiful bill that Donald Trump passed. But I'm going to guess that it probably had a lot to do with the fact that Donald Trump doesn't really like the whole electric vehicle thing.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Donald Trump is allowing the regular gas motor power vehicles to reign supreme. Listen to this.
But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem. And he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate because that's billions and billions of dollars. And it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell.
We want to have all the cars.
When that was
we just don't want Elon to have the market because he currently does when it comes to EVs, and that's a personal opinion. But
he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
I absolutely love this. It is 1,000% you and your high school breakup. I mean, it is he said, she said. He's a loser, but he called me a winner just the other day. It flips on a dime. 6 days ago, you're handing him a golden key to the White House for his thanks and his help and everything he did with Doge and all of the savings. But at the end of the day, in order to actually complete the goal, in order to complete the actual task of saving money within the United States government, we're going to have to take a look at the billions and billions and billions of dollars we spend every year, not only on the SpaceX program that Elon Musk owns, but also the Tesla electric vehicle mandate and all the other government subsidies that Elon Musk financially profits from when it comes to the United States government and the businesses he runs. So that essentially left Elon Musk and Donald Trump in this kind of weird kind of space, okay? And so what then happened next is basically Donald Trump is claiming that we will be shutting down those government contracts with SpaceX. And so then Elon Musk responds again, hey, that's fine. We'll start decommissioning the spaceship we were building for you. No worries there. And it just continued and continued to the point where last evening we get another round of tweets from Elon Musk. And this one, which was supposed to be the granddaddy, Mac Daddy nuke of all bombs of a tweet. But the issue is, we kind of knew this already. Elon Musk drops another tweet that says, time to drop the really big bomb, at Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's the only real reason he won't release them.
What are we doing?
Which is, hey, I'm sure when Elon Musk was typing this out on his iPhone or whatever, and he hit send, he was like, yeah, got him. Oh, got him. Grand slam. Take him out to Denny's, dude. Buy him breakfast. Get Donald Trump a grand slam, and boom, hit it home. That bitch was in the Epstein files.
What are we doing?
Which hey, listen, we know that. We know. There's plenty of documentation and video and flight log record data, videos of Trump with Epstein and Ghislaine. Like, we know that Donald Trump, the man, the one on trial, listen, grab him by your pussy, Donald Trump. We know. We already know, Mr. Musk, that Donald Trump was on the Epstein Island. He was on the plane at least 7 times. Whether he actually went and stepped foot on said island has yet to be confirmed. But at the end of the day, I don't think Donald Trump has a better story than RFK Jr. for being on the plane.
What are we doing?
I just had to explain that to Megs this morning. Megs had no idea. I was like, hey, you know RFK Jr.? Yeah, he was on Epstein's plane, and his excuse was digging up dinosaur bones with his kids for the weekend. When they asked RFK Jr. why he was flying on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, his exact response was, Jeffrey Epstein and I have been friends for the last few years, and Ghislaine is a good family friend of ours, and we wanted to take the children a dinosaur bone. We were going to let them dig up dinosaur bones in Wisconsin. And so we needed a plane to get there. And so Ghislaine was a good family friend. And so she let us borrow her plane to take the kids to dig up dinosaur bones a few weekends ago.
What are we doing?
And we're just like, what? You're just like, what? Your friend, you didn't know anything about the island, but we're friends with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell to the point where they're letting you borrow the private jet to fly to Wisconsin to dig up dinosaur bones. Hey, what's Donald Trump's excuse for being on the plane? You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
And so this was supposed to be Elon's big bomb, right? Elon's big bomb of the whole thing was like, oh, the reason we're not releasing the Epstein files every other week, we're telling you we're going to release the Epstein files. Newsflash, everybody. Spoiler alert for those who don't know. It does not necessarily have anything to do with Donald Trump and Elon Musk, but the reason we're not getting the Epstein files in the entirety of those files is strictly because not only is Donald Trump on them, but all of the other billionaires and government officials who are still active within our government today are also on the list.
What are we doing?
And so, of course, Donald Trump has had plenty of meetings, one-on-one, that we don't know about with people who are also on the list, telling him that it would be of national security, I'm sure, if he were to just never potentially release it for a handful of reasons that don't have to do with any of us regular average Joe American citizens. And so it goes beyond just the files that will get released. And so naturally, Donald Trump had to respond. It's a back and forth. It's a pickleball game, tennis match between the president of the United States and a little boy who owns a few companies that just so happens to have billions of dollars in the bank. Okay. And so Donald Trump, of course, goes to Truth Social. What better way to combat the enemy than from truthsocial.com? I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just trying to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. And the easiest way to save money for our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do that.
What are we doing?
Folks, you know it's bad when Trump brings Biden into the argument and puts him on his team. Like, that's just, we're reaching, we're grasping, we're trying to figure it out, and we're trying to make this a non-public thing, even though it 1000% is and will ever continue to be. So naturally, it just goes and goes and goes. And now there were rumors in the Twitter sphere that Elon Musk and Donald Trump were going to be talking on the phone today. According to a few insider sources, that call was scheduled for this evening, just a mere few hours ago. But we have since learned that was, in fact, just a rumor. So the latest basically that we have is this clip from Fox News. Take a listen. Here we
memo on the South Lawn a few months ago to try to help Elon Musk's business while it was being vandalized. We're told that Tesla, still sitting there, the red Tesla with Florida tags, is either going to be given away or sold off. And we are told that it was about a month that Elon Musk was wearing thin on Trump. So this was not a sudden exit and then blow up. There was about a month that he was wearing thin, the president's word.
Elon Musk was already on his way to his next relationship.
What are we doing?
He was on his way out, and the mere fact that Donald Trump can't stand that Elon Musk is doing this, the only way to retaliate against the richest man in the world as the second richest man in the world is to stab him where it hurts the most. That Tesla you gave me, I love Tesla. Who doesn't forget that? We're just going to give it away. We're not even going to keep it. We're just going to give it away. We're going to sell it. It'll be a tax write-off. Donald Trump wouldn't be caught dead with that gorgeous red Model 3 sitting at Mar-A-Lago or any of his actually owned properties. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
It just... We're giving away the Tesla. That's how much it's just like, would Donald Trump giving away or selling the Tesla that Elon Musk gave to him in order to help him save his other company while it was being defaced and Teslas were blowing up and being destroyed and people were destroying the dealerships. And now Donald Trump to just give it away is the equivalent to you throwing all of the notes, photos, stuffed animals, and other things that your boyfriend or girlfriend gave you in middle school or high school, burning them in the family fire pit in the backyard because you never want to think or deal with that person ever again, even though you'll see them in class tomorrow.
What are we doing?
You know? And so we're just going to give the Tesla away. I love it. I absolutely love it. It is petty, and it's the best breakup ever.
Or sold off. And we are told that it was about a month that Elon Musk was wearing thin on Trump. So this was not a sudden exit and then blow up. There was about a month that he was wearing thin, the president's word. Something else, there was some reporting today about the possibility of a Trump and Elon Musk phone call to make nice. Aides are telling me that is not something they are tracking. It's possible that some staffers might try to talk to Musk, but no Trump and Musk call, at least not that we know about. We did hear from the president yesterday, and he didn't sound mad, but he sounded disappointed.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore, but I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon.
This is the Facebook status, by the way. This is the Facebook status that you write after the dust is settled and the breakup is over. This is the Facebook status you write. You let them know how good of a person your ex was. They never treated you wrong. You both loved each other, and you've decided to go your separate ways. Even though it's going to still get messy, you still have to save face for the American. You have to save face when the camera's on, but you're writing this as your Facebook status as soon as your high school relationship ends, right?
And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office.
The lowest blows yesterday came from Elon. He said, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be 50.
Which is possibly an opinion.
What are we doing?
I mean, it is 100% an opinion, but possibly true. I mean, hey, it was touch or go there. Like 3 months before the actual election, we didn't see Trump in Pennsylvania rally like once. He was sending Elon to do all of his bids. I mean, obviously he was in Pennsylvania rallying. He got shot at a Pennsylvania rally, the whole 9 yards. You remember what happened. But at the end of the day, leading up to Election Day, it was Musk, Pennsylvania, down our throats. And so at the end of the day, now Elon Musk is claiming that Trump would not have won Pennsylvania, let alone the entire election, if it weren't for him, his money, his attention, his face, and his influence. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the downfall, the breakup, the inevitable ending of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Now, there's rumors. There's some rumors that your parents, probably, the boomer generation, the older generation, the fake Facebook pages, you're going to see some of these pop up. Rumors that this is all on purpose. And so your parents are going to try to tell you, hey, just wait a couple weeks. This is all on purpose. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they're best friends. This is how they get whatever, it's a chess move. It's a 5D chess move by Donald Trump, and him and Elon planned this. This is the boomer conspiracy now. And so this is what they're going to try to spin you on, because the same people that are spinning you on what's actually happening and this isn't actually a breakup are the same people who told you not to worry about Elon Musk. He's doing good for the country.
What are we doing?
And in some people's opinions, he very well could have been. But now we're at the point in time where we just have one remaining question. Who gets custody of Joe Rogan? Because it's Elon Musk and Donald Trump fighting it out for most guest spots on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think Elon has him by a couple. But at the end of the day, whose team's Joe Rogan going to be on?
What are we doing?
Because we know now, especially in 2025, Rogan needs both of these guys more than anything, you know what I mean? And we'll get to Rogan in a minute with some of his most recent guests. Joe Rogan, I mean, he is fully lost all narratives. But before we get to that, all I have to say is for anyone who is gay or on the spectrum, LGBTQ+, you know what I mean? LGBTQAI+, something like that. Y'all keep adding letters. I'm doing my best to keep up.
What are we doing?
Happy Pride Month, friends, okay? It's Pride Month. It's here. And, you know what I mean? Hey, the corporation, out. They're out on Pride Month. I think we went a little too hard in the paint a few years ago. And by a little too hard in the paint, I mean a little too aggressive with the, hey, we're all changing our logos. You guys come change yours too. Adidas, Nike, BMW, Target, Walmart, any national corporation or brand, Microsoft, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, every single logo you saw 3 years ago. If it wasn't a rainbow, it was an issue.
What are we doing?
And now, over these last few years, we've seen it less and less. And now today in 2025, we have a Pride Month where, we don't got a lot of the corporation. You know what I mean? There's not too many logos on the social medias that have been changed, not too many Pride sections in Target. I'm almost positive. I just watched a breakdown of this year's Pride section at Target, because we all know it's been a hot topic in the past, and I'm not talking the store in the mall, but the Target Pride Month section has been that of the discussion for the last few years and during Pride Month. And now I'm almost positive we have not only gotten rid of, I think, 90% of said Pride Month merch, it's now to the point where I think it's just like these little gay birds, I think, is all Target selling.
What are we doing?
I think it's just a collection of little gay and lesbian bird decorations or something that no one really wants anything to do with in their house. I mean, 3 years ago, I was banging $3 Target Circle logo Pride t-shirts for $4 off of the Target employee merch shop. Like, we were killing it. We were having a hell of a time during Pride Month back, 2020, 2021, even I think 2022. It was a hell of a time. Now, it's a little grim. It's a little I'm just saying, not like overall, you know what I mean? My allies, my peoples, all of my friends, all of my family members who are gay, queer, lesbian, whatever you identify as, you know what I mean? They're keeping the spirit alive. We keep the spirit alive internally, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the societal and the social media aspect of it all, they're kind of like, let's pump the brakes on the Pride Month merch. And I don't know how we all necessarily feel about it, but at the end of the day, all I have to say is, listen, every year on the 4th of July, we've got the Back It Up Terry video, okay? We've got the Back It Up Terry video, and every year we have to play it. And so now, as a tradition, now what we do is, this is our Pride Month equivalent. our Pride Month equivalent of the Back It Up Terry video that we play all July long. I'm pretty sure that guy's like a millionaire now just from that video. This is the video that we now send out. I send it out to my friends, my family members. There's about 5 to 7 different group chats and individuals that I have sent this video to come June 1st. And you know what I mean? It's now my new favorite thing to do. I like sending this video more than I like sending the Back Up Terry video because this one's just, I mean, come on.
Happy gay month because you know you gay and stuff.
Okay, thank you.
He got a gay balloon because it's got all the colors because it's gay.
Okay.
And I got Skittles because it got a rainbow on it.
Okay.
And I got your cookie cake. It said, be who you are for your pride.
You know what I mean? Be
What are we doing?
who you are for your pride. I love him. I love him. I love everything he represents. And if there's one thing, we can let the rainbow logos go. We can let the rainbow merch go. We can let all of the things go that comes with Pride Month. As long as we have this video playing on repeat all month long, my Pride Month is going to be A-okay. You know what I mean? For your pride.
What are we doing?
I love it. I love it. I think this video encompasses, I don't even know if I'm saying that word right, but it instills the entirety of the month, the representation of the community, the allies that are for it, and everyone, hey, happy Pride Month. You know what I mean? We're here for you. We support you. We love you at the What Are We Doing Studios. You know what I mean? Hey, our logo's not rainbow either, but that doesn't mean we don't, give a shit. So it's fun. It's Pride Month. Listen, I'll probably, now that I've said that out loud, I'll probably have a rainbow logo like within the next 48 hours.
What are we doing?
So, it's all good. It's all good, baby. It's all good in the hood. And you know what else is good? Our friend Joe Rogan, okay? He's been having a hell of a time with some of his guests lately, and I'm here for it, okay? Just the other day, Rogan meets investment banker turned magician / mentalist Oz Perlman. For those of you who don't know who Oz Perlman is, he's coming up in the ranks as someone you should probably know when it comes to magic and mentalism. He hit America's Got Talent. Hey, so did I!
What are we doing?
At one point in time. You know what I mean? He hit America's Got Talent. He's making his rounds on TV, podcasting, the whole thing, the whole media circuit. Anywhere he can be, it's Oz Perlman. He did Logan Paul, and now he's doing the JRE podcast, okay? And so when it comes to magic and having magicians on the podcast, you know what I mean? It's something that Joe Rogan's done in the past. He's had on David Blaine. He's had on plenty of other magicians and illusionists and mentalists in the past, okay? This is something that's definitely not new to Mr. Rogan, but at the same time, it's a very interesting type of guest for him because it's an audio show first, but some visual aspect. But at the end of the day, you can kind of get the gist of what Oz is doing and the techniques and the things that go along with it when it comes to mentalism and magic. And so to just kind of fully understand, if you're new to the term mentalism, what that means is AKA he's a mind reader, AKA he's not a real mind reader, but he'll ask you to, think of a number and then use a variety of social cues, body language, reading techniques, and that takes, years and years to learn, as well as ask questions to the person who had to pick the number about said number in order to obtain any and all information about what that number might be. And then based on their reactions, their body language to the questions, everything he's saying, they can then accurately predict, a number or pin or whatever it is that Oz Perlman might be predicting of Joe Rogan's. And so the first thing that Oz did, which Joe didn't really seem to like, was guess his ATM PIN code. Let's take a look at this. This is and this is why I love it, because Joe doesn't understand it. Joe doesn't like it. Joe can't explain it. And so it's a time where we see Joe lose control. Joe Rogan needs to always maintain control. It's why he has his own comedy club. It's why he has his own platform. It's why he'll never sign a contract with anyone where he doesn't have 100% creative control, self-control. He can say whatever he wants. As soon as they start limiting the control of Joe Rogan, he starts freaking out and canceling things and everything else. So when Joe Rogan isn't in control is when I feel like it's best to watch him. Here we go. Ready?
If I were to ask you,
here we go.
How long you been married?
16 years.
Okay, nailed that question. Well played.
Thank you.
You got your sister's happy, your wife's happy. If I asked you, would your wife know your social security number?
No.
She doesn't know it.
No.
So is there any way in the world I could know your social security number?
I don't think so.
Right, you say I'm a stalker. Who knows? Yeah,
you could have got the information.
Maybe.
Online.
Agreed. Yeah. I'm skeptical. You're skeptical.
Well, especially someone famous.
Yeah, fully. Plus, you can't change that, so I'm not going to do that to you.
Data dumps. Yeah.
You know, if I told you right now to make up a random number, I'd say, get out your calculator. I'd love that. And you add it up and you do a random number. You know, screw calculator. I want it to be spontaneous. Would your wife know your ATM PIN code? No?
No.
Lie to me. Do not tell me your real ATM PIN code.
Okay.
Obviously, unless you want to. Make up a fake 4-digit number off the top of your head, what feels to you utterly spontaneous. Okay. When I say go, 1, 2, 3, 4-digit code, random, go.
Okay.
Say it.
2020.
2020. Okay.
Two things here. One, the year 2020 lives rent-free in Joe Rogan's head. He can't get it out.
What are we doing?
It is a time where he was alive, he had control, he was at his peak. 2020 was the year for Joe Rogan, so he will never let that shit go. Secondly, in pertaining to the mind reading or mentalism that you're about to see, this is technique of Oz Perlman number 1. Spoiler alert, he can't actually read your thoughts, but he can ask you questions and read your body language in order to figure it out. So this is technique number 1. He said, Joe, give me a number that's not your PIN code, therefore statistically almost eliminating all of the numbers that Joe just said. So 2020 to 020, all of those numbers psychologically now, most likely, and we never really find out because it's Joe Rogan's PIN code, but at the end of the day, you can assume that the numbers 2 and or 20 aren't and or 0 are not a part of Joe Rogan's PIN code.
Okay. So you ask me, how do I do what I do? Now, I'm going to write down 2020.
Okay.
It's weird, but statistically, men will lie bigger, women smaller. Men like to lie by saying things are bigger, right? No shocker.
Okay.
So I don't think I would tell you right off the jump for me that means that your first number, you don't have to say anything yet. I wrote 2020 is smaller. That's what most people do when they're rushed. If I had given you 5 minutes, you would have done this different.
No, I wouldn't have.
No, you would have.
Why would I have?
Because you would have thought about it, and then people go down a different path.
Nope.
Yes, you would have, Joe. Shut the fuck up.
Doing?
Him telling Osprey, no, I would have said 2020 if you would have given me 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 10 seconds. I would have said, shut up. Yes, you would. Because that's how human. Joe Rogan is less that of a comedian than even being able to understand the human psyche. Yes, you would have. Oz was right in that moment. You were wrong. Shut up, Joe Rogan.
No?
Nope.
Okay, worked out for me either way. You'll be honest if I'm right.
Okay.
I got a hit, which means it's a 0 or 1. I think the first number of your code's a 1, isn't it? Your real PIN code.
My ATM
PIN code.
Why would I tell you that on the air?
Should I only show this to you?
Sure.
Only show it to you.
What does Joe Rogan think they've been doing for the last 20 minutes? He's been trying to guess his PIN code for the last 20 minutes, and Joe's just now finally catching
What are we
doing?
We acquiesced that the first number I got was correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you did repetition. So yeah, I like the fact when people always say to me it's fake when they watch the videos, they're like, you must have set up. Joe doesn't even want this to happen right now. He had no idea this was going to happen. You used 2 numbers in repeats. What that means is you probably did the same thing. You also didn't use any of the same numbers. So I know there's not a 2, a 0, or a 2.
It's just all over Joe's head. All of this. All over.
And I'm watching you while I say it. You put the hand up. You might as well have said yes to me out loud. So now I know.
Body language.
Think of the second number,
Okay.
third number, fourth number.
Got
Every
it.
time you did it, it's a data point.
Okay.
I'm only going to ask you one more question. I'm not looking for answers. The last number is the biggest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm showing this to you.
And with
Is there a
that,
camera behind me? I don't want to
he's
make sure. I'm
got
going
it.
to show it to you.
You know what I mean?
It's not 2020. How'd I do, Joe? Is that your ATM PIN code?
Yeah.
Out of
That's
control.
weird.
He has no control, and he's shutting down.
I'm
because-
skeptical because I've got that PIN code in the mail.
And the only reasonable explanation Joe Rogan can come up with is that somehow Oz Perlman pre-read Joe Rogan's mail.
What are we doing?
Like, what? Shut up, bro. Come on. Like, it's a very, very, when Joe is not in control. And so especially when we fast forward to the most recent episode, we just dropped, I think, Save Our Parks 15, something like that. Of course, with Shane Gillis and Ari and whatever the other guy's name is, Mark something, I can't remember. He's part of Joe Rogan's 250 Assassins, you know what I mean?
What are we doing?
But in this clip, listen to that. He gets so here's where we're at with Joe Rogan. He is a boomer, and he is starting to believe and walk down the same path that all of the other boomers, our parents, everyone that you like look up to, your superiors all of your life, who pretty much lied to you the entire time about how the world works and what would happen when you get older. Basically, all of those people are now walking the same path in the sense that they will see a face that they have never seen before. They might have a hat on. This guy has a hat. You know what I mean? They will see someone on TikTok or a Facebook reel, mainly Facebook reels, but somewhere online, they will see a video of a person, usually with like a green screen filter or whatever, and then an article in the background, reading the title of that article and proclaiming that this is actual real life 100% news that's happening right now.
What are we doing?
And because we can sometimes emotionally relate to that article, this person, their voice, the way they look, what they're saying, we automatically now are in this 2025 occasion of fake news and TikTok spreading fake news. And as soon as someone hears this fake news, they make a TikTok about it. And now we're down a rabbit hole where there's hundreds and hundreds of people commenting and making videos about these fake news stories. Meg sends me fake news TikToks 24/7. So the fact now that Joe Rogan, the man with the biggest podcasting platform, or arguably the biggest media platform on the planet, that reaches the most ears and most eyeballs on a weekly basis, depending on what he's talking about or who his guest is now falling in line with every other boomer believing in fake news and every TikTok they see on social media. It doesn't matter who the user is. It doesn't matter where the articles came from. It doesn't matter if there are sources or not. If someone is on TikTok with a green screen filter, that, my friends, for this generation is good enough, and the news must be real. So much so that Joe Rogan snaps on young Jamie. Let's take a watch as young Jamie tries to be level with Mr. Joe Rogan in saying that, hey, this is a TikToker. None of this is verified. We don't know if what he's saying is true. And then Joe Rogan does the unthinkable and just snaps on Jamie. Listen to how he treats Jamie here, and how they'll most likely, after this episode, Jamie's getting a spanking for sure.
What are we doing?
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh,
Maybe it looks
meanwhile,
like a movie.
What I sent Jamie yesterday. You want to get mad?
Yeah.
Let's get mad.
Let's get mad.
The LA Fire Fund. You know, they had this big show, big fundraiser. They raised $100 million.
contributed to that.
What, did it all go to BLM?
Wait till you find out where the money went. James Lee did a thing about it on Instagram. Yeah, and there's been articles written about it where people are like, where's the money?
Hey, who's James Lee?
What are we doing?
A credible source? A credible news source? Like a guy from CNN or Fox News or or just a verified TikTok account, Joe Rogan. And it's like, listen, we know this has been a thing for a while now. Most, not all, but most major nonprofits take only about 10 to 20% of the donations they receive and give them to the people or the cause that they actually say they're going to give them to, because the other 80 to 70% of the money earned needs to go towards salaries and overhead and the building they're all working out of and bills and internet and the money it costs to actually run and market and advertise and pay for a business that can get multi-millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in donations. It costs money to run. And so if they're giving away every single penny to every single person in need, they don't have money left to run the business, aka the business doesn't exist. And so we've known this about certain charities and nonprofits for a long time now. The most recent point, I think Ari brings it up in the background here, is BLM. The women organizers around the Black Lives Matter movement took in millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of donations surrounding the riots and the George Floyd murder, unfortunately, RIP. And so they created this BLM movement and then inevitably spent all that money on a few mansions, some cars, aka they went on vacation with all the donations.
What are we doing?
And so, you know what I mean? We can pretty much chalk that up to this organization who has now said that they raised $100 million, but actually $0 potentially might have went to the actual people of the LA forest fires. Listen to Jamie try to talk sense into Joe about this entire thing, and he just spits on this man. Jamie has to be making so much money to the point where he can't leave this job.
The way they distribute the money is so crazy. You're gonna read this and you're never gonna want to donate to charity again, because you find out what charities are really, what a lot of these non-profits are really about. The lady running the charity that got the money makes almost $1 million a year.
BLM, Me Too.
Yep.
This
a bunch.
Same lady.
No,
but it's all. Everyone's like, well, let me get a
same
taste.
fucking lady. She's killing it. Listen to this.
I watched this. I looked into it a little bit. We'll watch it, but what they say though is that within the first month they distributed half of that money.
Hold on, before you press play on
I
this.
also don't trust this.
Hold on, that guy with the fishing hat is not a reliable news source.
Thank you, Ari Shafir. Thank you.
And then he's trying to blame the Annenberg Foundation. That is one of the richest fucking families in California. They're worth so much fucking money. And
wonder how they got money.
I mean,
it doesn't matter. If like
liberal ass Jamie, you fucking Ohio State fan, liberal ass.
How about just play the video? How about play the video and let everybody figure it out for themselves?
Yeah. How about
what are we doing?
How about just play the video, Jamie? How about just play the video to the millions and millions and millions of people who come to this show? Now, listen. Joe has said it himself. If you use Joe Rogan as your source of news or end all be all of all things, you're the idiot, not him. But with a massive platform like this, you have a certain responsibility, a small percentage of responsibility to either A, do your research, or B, tell people, listen, this probably isn't it. And the fact that Joe is just going against everyone else saying, no, this has to be the way it is. Even though Jamie just rebutted him. He's like, yeah, they gave out half that money like last week. And Rogan just shuts him down because of some guy in a fishing hat on TikTok, right? It's insane.
Liberal?
Jesus.
Sponsor might be one of the biggest scams in disaster fundraising history. And as usual, I'm bringing the receipts. First off, according to reports, the Fire Aid benefit concerts raised over $100 million, supposedly for LA fire victims. Cool. But since then, residents have been asking, where did all the money go?
$100 million raised for residents, community things, and funds that are supposed to help with the Palisades, and there's no accounting.
He played football.
Let's figure this out. So, according to the Fire Aid website, it says that all direct donations will be distributed under the advisement of the Annenberg Foundation. According to the IRS 990 form, the Annenberg Foundation is a 501c3 based in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania.
I live there.
This
Conchi, baby.
Office
Yeah.
One massive red flag
I know that building.
is that only 33% of their annual expenses goes towards actual charity programs. The rest goes to administrative costs like executive compensation. If you look at the numbers, they treat you pretty good over there, starting with top dog Cynthia Kennard, who's making $750,000 plus another 6 figures in bonuses.
She started the fire.
Basically almost 7 figures just for one person there. Here is Cynthia, a.k.a. Cinny, hanging out with Gavin Newsom, discussing or strategizing about things like how to solve
Would.
Both of them.
6 beers.
Yeah. This is where Joe Rogan gets his news. I mean, this is what Joe Rogan does. Ever since CNN tried to tell the world that Joe Rogan went to Tractor Supply, took some horse dewormer straight off the shelf, and cured himself of COVID within a magic 48 hours, ever since then, Joe Rogan hasn't been the same and has been looking. He thought he had a saving grace with his best friend Elon Musk. But now that he sees that Elon Musk burns through friends like, no one's business, Rogan's trying to probably, I'm assuming, is going to take a step back from the politics and the Elon Musks of the world now that this whole blow up between him and Zaddy Trumpets happened. And so Joe Rogan has been looking for that trusted news source. It was X, and now he's finally found it. He has finally found it. All it takes is a random guy with a bucket-ass fish hat on and a green screen filter and a few screenshots of how much money the CEO of this nonprofit makes. Spoiler alert, CEOs in general make anywhere from 6 to 7 figures whether they're a nonprofit or not.
What are we doing?
I know Carl Beaverson tried to use that argument with me a few months ago, and it doesn't work because that's how business works. And for a lot of you who think you know how business works, that's not how business works, okay? The people at the top who run it every day, who dedicate their lives to it, have to get paid in order for the wheels to keep turning. So we're trusting these people on TikTok wholeheartedly to the point where Joe Rogan's basically ignoring the advice and everything his best friends are telling him, his most trusted advisors, and rolling with the punches and claiming that this TikTok is pretty much the end all be all, 100% not fake news. You know what I mean?
Anyway, just to give you a point of comparison with another nonprofit, Doctors Without Borders, they spend almost 90% of their money on actual programs versus less than 1% on administrative costs.
Has nothing to do with LA
fires. Have also been asking, where's the money? They found, quote, the Fire Aid website names only 3 Palisades organizations that receive grants, among almost 120 organizations listed as receiving grants.
A couple of Jew ones in there.
You see who got the money?
A couple of Jew ones in there. Hold on, let me read it.
Why'd you stop?
Because he focused on the Palisades.
Just play it. Just play it. We'll talk later.
A second snap. Did you hear what he just said?
Doing?
Oh, you missed it because I was talking. Joe Rogan says, just play it. We'll talk later. As in, like, bitch, if you don't play this clip right now, you're young Jamie. You are the producer. You are the showrunner, and I am the master of puppets. I pull the strings. My name's on the wall. My name's on the show. My name's worth the money. Not yours, young Jamie. When I say play a video, you better play the video. You think that Tesla that he bought young Jamie came with no strings attached a few years ago? You better hit play and let the audience decide whether it's fake or not, and stop trying to derail the Joe Rogan experience, not the young Jamie show.
What are we doing?
Ooh, he said just play it. We'll talk later.
Local journalists have also been asking, where's the money? They found, quote, the Fire Aid website names only 3 Palisades organizations that receive grants, among almost 120 organizations
Till he
listed
pauses
as
it?
receiving.
A couple Jew ones
No,
in
no,
there.
no.
See who got the money?
A couple Jew ones in there. Hold on, let me read it.
Why'd you stop?
Because he focused on the Palisades. I
Just
looked at
play it.
120
Just play it. We'll
organizations.
talk later.
Are specific to Pacific Palisades.
What Israel?
Those three are
What are we
Israel,
doing?
Bond of Pacific
I
Palisades,
mean-
and Palisades Charter High School.
Listen, scorpions
Others have tried
sting.
to directly reach out to the Annenberg Foundation. They were kind of given the runaround, various extension numbers. Somebody saying they would call them back. No one called back.
Oh, it's
Also
customer
referring
service.
them to some mysterious man named Philip, no last name. He was never found.
Yes.
This is just crazy. So essentially what they're doing is taking the $100 million, then paying themselves roughly 70% of it.
Wow.
And then the rest of the money they're dishing out to various other nonprofits with their own administrative expenses. And that's how $100 million just ends up disappearing.
Wow.
Benefit-
Okay.
I don't believe it.
Maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's exaggerating. But at the very least,
This is what the
30%,
NFL does. The NFL does with the
30%,
cancer research stuff.
70% goes to administration, 30%
No,
goes
no, no, no,
to
no,
the
no,
actual
no, no.
cost.
This is another thing that Joe Rogan does that really irritates the shit out of me. You know what I mean? He does this thing where he just says, well, he just said he could be telling the truth or he could be lying, but 70% goes to them and 30% goes to other organizations. So Joe Rogan, within the next breath of him stating it could be a lie, it could be fact, could be, I don't know, maybe fake news, he's just verifying that, at least for his own opinion, that he believes it's 100% real.
NFL does. The NFL does with the
30%.
cancer research stuff.
70% goes to administration, 30% goes to the actual cause.
These nonprofits,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
they're for
Oh,
their
that's
own
crazy.
profit.
And
Well,
the
it's just a
insurance bailed on
loophole.
him, too.
It's a loophole.
But
they
they-
found a
but-
loophole to make a great living by being virtuous.
And then they see a fire and they're like, sick, we're all getting raises.
But all we're saying, Jamie, is that this
Oh,
guy
back to
is
Jamie.
saying
Third
that
strike.
70% traditionally goes to
See if he'll
administrative
defend
costs,
himself. Ready?
30% goes to the actual problem.
Right, that's for all
But
charities.
if right, that is for all charities, for a lot of charities, but not Doctors Without Borders, which is one of the things that he brought up.
He just picked one though.
Right,
He's
but he-
comparing you with this stuff to. He's like, I'll pick a charity, and this he picked probably one of the worst ones. You know, we've gone over the charity stuff many times. There's
Right.
good and bad charities.
There's good and bad charities. But the point is that this $100 million you're saying was distributed to a bunch of different places, not just Pacific Palisades.
Looking into it, too, 100 million was a number that got used in advertising to make everything look big and look good.
He's not even looking. He won't even give Jamie the respect. He won't even look at him.
What are we doing?
He has his back towards Jamie. Jamie's over here. He won't even look at him in this moment. He's just listening to him. Like, what a piece of you know what I mean? Like,
Probably, I was trying to say too, assuming that it is 100 million, there's a bunch of companies and a bunch of like artists that said, I'm going to pledge $1 million, I'm going to pledge $1 million.
They never.
And you have to go collect it all. You don't know if they all sent it in.
Oh, you know how many times I pledged stuff?
I pledged $1 million to Notre Dame's NIL. I haven't done one single.
Did you do it by yourself?
Yeah.
Were you in your apartment?
No, I was at the fucking championship game watching Ohio State win, and I was going, Notre Dame needs a D tackle. I'm going to give them $1 million.
For real?
Yeah. And then they were like, "Hey, you want to give us that $1 million?" I was like, "No."
you can't get enough of Shane Gillis.
What are we doing?
If listen, it's the icing on the cake. If we have to sit here and listen to Joe Rogan just bash and spank like a baby live in front of they're all grown men, and Joe Rogan treats Jamie like he is this child who doesn't know anything about anything, and Daddy Rogan, Papa Rogan, knows best. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we started with a PSA. We're going to end with a PSA, and I need to just explain one thing to you. It's Real ID time. The Real ID is here. It's a requirement. You must have a Real ID if you plan on flying on a plane out of the United States anywhere, whether you're going to another state, whether you're flying just 20 minutes down the road, whether you're flying out of the country, you either need one of two items to get on that plane. That is a Real ID or a passport. So for all of us who have our passports, me and my friends and family, we're good to go. We don't need a Real ID. By the way, you still need a passport to leave and enter another country other than the United States. So you need a passport anyways. But if you're flying from state to state, you still need either a passport or a real ID. And that's the confusion amongst most people. So I hope that clarifies. The other confusion, the second biggest confusing line item is, do I need a real ID? What counts as a real ID? Is there substitutes? The only substitute for a real ID is a United States government-issued passport. You cannot and will not be able to use your Costco membership card at the terminal in order to board the plane, as in, you know what I mean, replace of your real ID.
What are we doing?
You cannot use your Costco card, you cannot use your Sam's Club card, and or your BJ's Wholesale membership card. Now, unless you're like me, and for your Costco membership card, you took a picture eating a chicken bake.
What are we doing?
Unless you're like me and you're eating either a hot dog or a chicken bake, then TSA will allow you to use your Costco ID card to board the plane. But that's the only exception. So if you do not have a real ID, please do not go to the airport and try to present your Costco card as a form of identification to the gate agent. They will laugh at you and turn you away. This has been the latest PSA from the What Are We Doing podcast in partnered with Costco Wholesale. Need a lot of napkins? Need a lot of paper towels? That's why you need to go to Costco. Need a lot of samples? Go to Costco. Last weekend, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Last weekend, Megs and I had a date night, and we just so happened to be in the area of a Costco. We've got the membership card. Boop, scanned it, got in, went to Costco. I just wanted to look at the prices of TVs. Maybe get a new TV. We'll see, walk around, kill some time before dinner. Our appetizer was the sushi station at Costco, and it was 100% free. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
They had just wrapped up samples for the day. Like samples ended at like 5 p.m. We were there at like 5:10, 5:15. And so they're not just going to throw away a whole plate full of samples that people didn't take. So Megs and I were walking around Costco. Boop, we get to the Costco sushi station, and there's like a whole tray. There's 20 individual pieces in little cups. 20 individual pieces of like a spicy California roll. So Megs and I, boop, pop one, walk around the aisle for 2 minutes, boop, go back, pop two. And then at that point in time, we realized no one else was getting the samples. And so we just stood there. Megs and I stood there for like 5 minutes. We're laughing, having a good time. Hey, you want another sushi? Boop, grab the little sample cup, pop the sushi in our mouth, toss the cup in the trash. Megs and I stood there, and we each ate for free without even batting an eye, at least like, I don't know, 4 to 5 pieces of sushi each.
What are we doing?
And so that was our appetizer. We didn't need to get an appetizer at the restaurant because we just got some free bomb-ass sushi from Costco. So if you're on a date night and you're trying to, like, you know, save a little moolah, hit your whatever membership card you got, BJ's, Costco, Sam's Club, whatever wholesale membership card you got. On the weekends, they do the samples. You know, if you know, you know. Get there before you go to dinner. Walk around the big box store for 5 to 10 minutes and fill up on some samples, dude. It's free, and it's a Jeff McCurdy specialty. I mean, I've adapted it to date night, free appetizer. My father, and this is obviously where I got it from, on the weekends. Oh, on the weekends, dude, we would be... during the week, have to eat frozen pizza, leftovers, the batch of hot dog fried rice my dad made that week for dinner. We would have to eat all of these and my stepmother couldn't cook for shit, so we had to endure all of her cooking on a nightly basis as our dinner. And when my father told us as children, hey, it's the weekend, guess what? We're going out to eat for lunch.
What are we doing?
I can't tell you how excited we were when we were told we were going to go out to eat for lunch. And lunch was us going to Costco because Dad had to go there for toilet paper anyways. So why not get 2 birds stoned at once and have the kids pick off whatever free samples they want? Hey, You want some chips? You want some chicken nugget? You want some tater tots? You want some sushi? You want a bite of chicken? You want a bite of ice cream? You get your lunch? You get your dessert? Hey kids, go around 3 or 4 times till you're ready to go in full.
What are we doing?
And that would be our lunch. My father would take us out for lunch on the weekends, you know what I mean, when we were off school during the summer, whatever. And out to lunch meant Costco free samples for us all. And then at the end, he would spend either $1 on a hot dog or $2 on a chicken bake, cut it up into 8 pieces, give it all. We each got a piece. And that was our food for the day. And Jeff had saved yet another $1.
What are we doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Levi McCurdy. Thank you so much for rocking with me again for another hour this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you love what we've got going on with the studio. I should be back in Alien Invasion, New York City next week for a full-blown What Are We Doing Backdrop Studios podcast. Don't worry. We'll switch it up. We'll be in front of this wall. We'll be in front of that backdrop. We'll be everywhere we need to be in the near future. If you didn't listen to me at the beginning of this episode, I'm going to need you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell to get the notification, and we're going to keep rocking and rolling next week, the week after that, the week after that, the week after that, the week after that, and then the week after that, dudes, my guys, we're in Mexico. And you know who's in Mexico with me? 280 plus. So you best believe we're going to be chopping it up in the villa. We're going to be chopping it up roof deck. We're going to be chopping it up on the pool. And we're going to have a lot of content coming between the 280 plus podcast, between recap and record, between what are we doing. It's all happening coming this summer, my babies. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe. Hit the button, hit it. We'll see you next week. I love you guys. Peace out, everybody. Boom.
What are we doing?